Well, let's see. All right. Do we have the right thing going on? Let's find out. Ah, yeah, I guess I should have, huh? That's okay. Ding dong. Alright, we're being rung here real fast. Come on in. Okie dokie.
Signed in last month, do I need to sign in again or not?
No, once you've done it once, that should be it.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So if we get to play with my 4000, see if we can get it to work.
Ah, yeah. Was that the one you were looking to sell?
Yeah,
Nice.
I was trying to get it tested out and see if it was working everything, and I turned it on and got the red screen.
Oh no, red screen not good, huh?
That's the ROMs, I think, and I opened it up on it and tried reseating them, and that the red screen went away, but now I can't get any screen doors.
No.
Nothing happened. Well, I mean, it sort of boots, but I mean, I can hear the drive spin up and it's supposed to work, but then I don't know. I can't hold the both. Can't hold both mouse buttons down and
Oh no.
and get something to come on or anything else. So
Wow, this has really gone haywire then, huh?
yes.
Let's see if I got Texas Nerd House. Make sure I can join the stream. Here we go.
Last month was a breeze. Traffic over on Stemmons was jammed up with an accident the last 3 or 4 miles.
Oh yeah, the northbound side, I saw that.
Yeah.
Not good, huh?
Yeah, this is the one I'm willing to sell and probably haven't used in at least 6 months or so. And I thought I'd boot it up and see if it was working and get rid of any sensitive information that might be on it that doesn't want strangers to see or whatever. And then ran into problems.
Well, I may be interested in taking this one off your hands regardless of the situation.
It's got 128 mega memory on it.
Wow.
And although I don't have it with me, I'll toss in the 68040 daughter board that originally came with it.
Sweet.
There is no high-density floppy disk drive in there. I think I have that at home somewhere, but I can't promise that.
You know, got plenty of floppy drives. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to log into this. That's weird. Okay, let's see. Too bad Ken couldn't bring the other stuff, I guess. I ended up bringing the chip quick so I could help with the surface mount soldering.
If I had more time or whatever, I could have swung by his place and picked it up probably, but...
That's all right, yeah.
But, I have a new job as primary caregiver for my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that just eats up. I was lucky to get out of here and get here when I did.
Oh yeah, that's important for sure.
Okay.
Not good with the tripod there. You swing this around.
Let's see.
Trying to set those up kind of high so that you can get a look at everything going on over that. I also have the gimbal. You can mount the phone on the gimbal and start moving this thing all the way around if we want.
Okay.
Let's see what I can do in terms of the chat here.
I guess I can probably plug right into that power strip right over there on the floor.
All right, cool.
Okay, let's see here.
You know, it's great doing these live streams because then people from all over the world join you.
Mm-hmm.
Got a guy watching us from Florida right now, George from Florida.
Okay, hi George.
Said hello.
Oh, let's see here now.
Oops. Yikes.
There we go. Now, let's see here. This one.
Amiga Kit Technical Services.
Okay, this one.
Yeah, so you got your ATX to Amiga power adapter then, huh?
Yes, uh-huh.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you have CDRW in here.
Yes, uh-huh. It's not plugged in at the moment. Well, it is plugged in. Excuse me, it is.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever actually written a CD from Amiga?
Not, I don't remember on my, hang on, what am I doing? This is where I want to plug in. On my Amiga 1, I have done that, but not, if I've done it on this one, it's been a long time ago and I really don't remember.
Gotcha.
Come on.
Yeah, I guess somebody would have written burning software for it. Maybe we have another visitor. Let's find out.
Okay.
See what's coming up on the screen here. All right, so Winter Garden in Central Florida. And George had a Commodore 64 growing up and had a channel recommendation by John Riggs. Very nice. Well, I'm glad that there are people recommending my channel. I haven't really posted videos in a little wild due to having a 1-year-old at the house. Kind of keeps me occupied for sure. But yes, wonderful system as well. Everybody has a soft spot in their heart for the Commodore 64 for sure. I bet that at some point we'll bring one in here to operate on as well. Let's flip the camera around fast and I'll say hi. This is me, your narrator. And I'll flip it back.
One of our people that rang the doorbell?
Yeah. Since we're here, I guess I'm in charge of answering the door for people. Are you going to boot into your Amiga system on this one?
I can. Our newsletter editor asked me to. He wants to take attendance.
Gotcha. Take the attendance for sure.
Okay.
I will bring it back. What's your name? Oh, I'm Steven. Okey-dokey. Well, do I have a Patreon or donation link for the channel? Yes, actually, we do have a Patreon. I think you'd probably be the first person to ever use it. So, I could probably dig up some details on that here in a sec. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I've even been in there myself since 2018. Oh, that's weird. Okay. It's not showing up right away. Oh goodness, that's hilarious. They might have actually deactivated my account. But because I never got in there, they figured, oh, this guy's inactive, so... they stopped it. I guess, you know, makes sense because I stopped getting emails from Patreon a while back, and it's kind of uncertain as to why. Normally, when we contribute to other channels, we do it from our private Patreon accounts instead of as Texas Nerd House. So that was kind of a big reason as to why we never got in there. Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I need Wi-Fi, should I log on as DMS guest or member?
I would go with DMS member.
Okay. Do I need a key of some sort?
Yeah, let me run you over the key.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, so DOS Gamer Man, this is an Amiga 4000 that you're looking at. So, are you ready with the key? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's simple. I would just not want to share it over the stream. That's all.
I don't blame you.
Alrighty. So yes. Let's see. Alright. Let me get this up and running here. That's weird. Here we are. Okay. Yeah, we're having fun with folks in the chat right now. So hopefully, I don't know, those of you that watch this later are probably going to be like, what's going on out here?
Yes.
But, as you can see, we got our fancy schmancy SCSI drive in our Amiga 4000. Do you remember the capacity of this drive?
It's, I think, probably a 2 gig drive.
2 gig, pretty good. Looks like it's got a spot right on the board.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is this just a SCSI or has it got some extra memory in it too?
That may be memory there too, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and may be indicative of some of the timing numbers on it possibly. You got some ROMs on there for sure.
Just
A boot ROM.
Why don't we see what happens when we try and turn it on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, monitor flickered. I can hear that doing something.
Getting some action.
Yeah.
That's wild. It just all of a sudden quit doing anything after you reseated the ROMs, huh?
Well, I mean, okay, reseating the ROMs was the first problem to get rid of the red screen. But,
Yep.
As I say, I probably haven't used this thing in 6 months or so, and so,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it worked the last time I tried it.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like these things can get cantankerous.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amiga.
If you don't use them. Oh,
well, that did
that's something.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Well, that's progress.
So it's alive. It just doesn't want to spit out the video.
Yeah.
Now you haven't switched your monitor into some weird kind of input that's not like
I don't think so.
not RGBI or something, right? See what's down there.
Composite,
A lot of knobs.
SCP, and RGB. And
I can find something for you to set that on if you want. Let me set this down so people
Okay.
can see it.
All the way over on the right, RGB.
Okay, yeah. Otherwise you got composite or SEP, whatever that is. You want me to try this? Other ones?
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Nope and nope. And we got brightness and contrast. Yeah, I guess, you know, if it flickered that much, it should be.
yeah.
Yeah, we got quite a nice little color burst off of there.
I'll tell you what, let me do that again. I'll try holding down 2 mouse buttons and see what happens. Where'd the color burst go, though?
Sounds like the whole thing shut off. I think we may have stepped on a power cord possibly or something. So let's
There's a
make
little-
sure they're still all
There's
hooked
a
up
little
back there.
switch here on it for turning the power on and off.
Mm-hmm. And we're still good from down here, I think. You power cycle this.
Okay.
Okay, and that's made the monitor go off. So we'll try this again, and that's the power supply's off over here.
Right, yes, uh-huh.
Okay. So there's this power supply coming back on the ground, the power strip, and then we can turn this back on. And then hit the button back here, I guess.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Not doing anything.
a big bunch of nothing.
You
All of a sudden.
want me to go into the door?
Sure.
You can think about that one.
Yeah. Definitely. Now this is a intriguing conundrum we're at here, because now the system doesn't even turn on at all. Let me make sure. So we're still on up here. Got 115. 115 volts. Looks like we got another member who's walking right in here real fast.
That's kind of had. Hey, Steve-O.
Hey, Chris, what's up?
Not much. How are you doing?
We are trying to have fun with this system that now just seems to be deader than a doornail.
That is fun.
Mm-hmm. It was turning on and giving us some spin-up kind of noises, but then we were messing around with the monitor a bit, and now it's not doing anything.
And you've been recording that. We have proof.
We have proof. And so you got your
I don't believe you.
monitor set up out here, and it's plugged into spot A. Yeah, and it's,
Okay, so this thing isn't like
up to
it's
spot
not
A.
even powering up
It was.
with this same power supply.
yeah.
It, when we turned it on, the monitor flickered. We could hear the disk drive spin up.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's as
man.
far as we
this
got.
Is this on? Okay, it's on. Just making sure that we got power.
Yeah, and then we rebooted it, and you saw a color burst, and then
And this is a stupid question, right? But you don't have it on like composite or anything, right?
No, we
It's
checked
on RGB.
RGB down there.
Okay.
And then we rebooted it again, and
And I mean, but do you hear it powering up, or is it just no picture?
well,
there is no picture.
at the moment, I don't even think the power supply is coming on because I don't hear the fan.
Yeah,
That's true.
the fan's not spinning
Oh,
for sure.
well,
So we need to make sure these are all
hang
seated
on.
good, I
I
guess.
probably shouldn't have had that thing sitting like that with the fan blocked.
It shouldn't matter too much. I mean,
Let's hope.
It's got another fan in front, right? Or some dots?
yeah, it's got some a grill
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
up front. Do you want me to try it in a different plug?
Yeah, it might not hurt.
I mean, I'm the low-hanging fruit first, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh,
The only thing I can think of is
Unless there's some kind of power good signal that's having a problem. See this going through there. Coming back around up here into there. And then we didn't really mess with this at all.
And then,
hit the little switch down there.
Yeah.
in case
This
I
one?
don't know which one. There you go. There.
Hey,
it's
okay,
flickering.
now we're
All
back.
right.
hey, that's all, folks.
Just another switch down there, huh?
No, well, I mean, I pushed this in a little further. Is it?
Okay.
It's going right. Yeah, push this.
Yep.
I mean, I did move it over, but obviously, I don't know. It moved from this plug to that, so I don't think it was that. I think it just probably wasn't pushed in far enough.
Or could this thing, because of the way it was oriented, could it have overheated temporarily? Now it's cooled off, or I don't know.
Well, I mean, I mean, they do have protective. I mean, he would know more about this stuff than I would, but he does. I do know that they have like some protective circuitry, but I would think that it would blow a fuse if that would happen.
Yeah, there's typically resettable fuses in there these days.
Oh, are they resettable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
just
do
give
a
it like
three-finger
a few
reboot.
minutes.
3-finger salute. I like that.
Okay, and I'm gonna hold the mouse buttons down.
There's our
Here's the drive.
CD drive, it looks like.
I was just now getting here. I had to stop off and eat something, and then
Oh,
I
yeah.
got the UPS delivers on Saturday. Yeah, so I got halfway over here,
Wow.
and I got I bought a little cheapo laptop, and it was like it got here. I was like, yes, so I turned around and got it, and then came back. So
Well, let's see.
Oh, I did.
If this is an expansion card, let's try
Yeah.
taking it out then. See if we can get it to
Okay.
boot
also
out.
no signal or no picture.
Yeah,
no,
no
I mean,
picture. So I'll just turn it off from here, yeah?
okay, that's fine.
Have you ever had a cap kit done to this?
Recap.
Recap. I've got two Amiga 4000s, right? And one of them, it's just like one of them doesn't even boot anymore. And after doing all this research, it's like they have. I mean, their capacitors are so. I mean, usually.
Kind of garbage or what?
Yeah, I mean, usually it's like these little capacitors here. You can see, these ones right here.
Oh, the real tiny surface mount ones.
You can see sometimes you can see like the little acid stuff that's coming, or the little fluids and things that are coming out from
battery
underneath them.
was.
Yeah, we're zooming in
that
now.
still looks
Sometimes
pretty
you
clean.
can see it bulge.
Yeah. Now, usually I see these kind of capacitors bulging on top.
Yeah, the electrolytics that are kind of
those
through
are
hole
usually
like that.
cheapos, but that's just what I've heard, and so
Yeah, I mean, I've had to replace surface mount capacitors on a Mac Portable to get it working.
I'm not good enough to replace them just yet, so I haven't done it.
I'm trying to find the battery on camera. If I move just a little bit north here on there.
Got it right there. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's pretty clean. It looks like it was taken off before it did any damage.
Yeah, that looks pretty decent. I still see a little bit of green there, but not much.
Like you used to see the ones on mine.
It's really not bad.
In bad shape, and they still work. It's just the clock doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, the clocks always die on these things just due to batteries or just the way that they embedded the batteries into the chips. Especially if it's the Dallas Semiconductor kind of stuff. That was a real nightmare to deal with.
Now, one thing of note, when did it just stop working? Stop with a picture?
Okay, I have no idea. I haven't used this thing in probably 6 months at least.
Okay, but last time it...
And I tried to get it up and running earlier this week because Stephen was interested maybe in buying it or something. And I want to make sure that it worked and make sure it didn't have my income tax forms on it or something like that.
No, sure.
I was going to clean it up a little bit.
I guess the reason I'm asking is I've had so much low-hanging fruit has been the problem on these. Everything from if the IDE connectors aren't like well, this is IDE. Is this IDE?
Yeah.
Okay. If they're not like, I guess SCSI is usually more when I run into problems, but SCSI isn't properly terminated. Sometimes there's jumpers that aren't set properly, and all of those will, cause the, if it's set for an 030 instead of, stuff like that. I've just run into so many things like that it's been...
Yeah, so even just little finicky things that don't bother a PC will bother a 4000.
And that's just the way it was back then whenever you were putting all those new cards and stuff like that in. So it's one of those things where I just... I wonder if, depending on how far you want to go to it, what I've always had to do was kind of take it down as much, just disconnect everything and then one by one put them back together. And
that's kind of what we started with. We're going to, we obviously took the hard drive stuff out.
Okay, turn it on again and let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's try that now. I think that's a good time. So let's turn it on. One thing that I noticed was that...
did it flash before?
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so it's booting up. Okay, what were we going to say, Steve?
So this guy is actually set to slave right now, and there we go.
Okay.
So now, of course, it just wants a floppy, and we don't have a floppy.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, this is a good sign. This is probably going to work.
This kind of goes back to what I was saying about sometimes jumpers. There's jumpers on these. Now, is this just a SCSI card?
So it's hard to tell because it's all covered up by all this stuff.
Okay, let me see. This is a Commodore. It's a A2091. I think this is just a SCSI with probably some RAM on it too.
Right.
So I would think that there. Yeah. Here's where you see because you have to configure the amount.
I'll turn this off and then you can plug that into the back. Now it's off.
And then
you
it
got
has
drive.
Options and stuff like that here. So I imagine
floppy is this one.
Did you get this from me? Was this the one that you got from me by chance?
I have absolutely no idea.
Because I brought up the Nexus card one time, and I think it was you or Johnny that got it, and it didn't work, and so I swapped it out for one of these things too. So.
I don't think that was me.
You know what's kind of sad is I've got a 2091 at home, but I don't think it has all this stuff on the back. And
Probably different revisions, maybe.
Yeah, it's like way blanker looking than this one.
Probably no RAM.
Yeah, and exactly, and the SCSI, like it's got headers for the SCSI, so you're not supposed to mount it here, I don't think.
No, you can.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
I'd have to check and see if it's got the fancy screws on the back.
Yeah,
I don't remember mine having that.
I mean, you can do it, or you can mount it other places. I think it's.
Sure.
We used to call it a hard card.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they've obviously, who is it? Quantum made the hard cards, I'm pretty sure, for the PCs.
Was that an actual, I guess that was an actual
Yep,
name.
So now we can stick this disc in the drive and it should pick right up on it, right? Okay, let's give it a shot. Yeah, it's Well, maybe.
Oh, well.
Give it a moment.
Recognize it? Yeah, give it a second. It might be looking for an internal floppy.
Oof.
But yeah, it won't boot off external. You have to.
Oh, no.
No, yeah, it won't boot off external because you have to, unless you. I know if you turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
Can I try something, Ned?
Sure.
If you do a not control, alt delete,
Mm-hmm.
but do this, and then used to, I think if you hold this down right here, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
and then
Screen,
you
okay.
can go boot options.
So what keystrokes was that?
It was just reset, control Amiga, just a standard soft reset, and then you hold down both of these.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Now
That's
the one
what Ned
thing
was trying too.
is I don't know why this would be DF0 because that should be DF1. Unless there's, I mean, there is no floppy
No,
up
there
here.
is no floppy there.
So I don't know. I thought it would still call it DF1 because it's
Sure.
external.
Okay.
So, but let's just try it.
So use.
Boot. Let's see. I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
thinking
maybe-
about it. You can hear it reading.
Well,
it.
yeah, I heard it read it too. And maybe I don't know. You sure that disc boots?
I think so.
You might just plug in a
Well, let
different.
me try something first. Let's
There's
do
another
this.
workbench disc.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Boy.
Me-
All right. This will get a little unsteady too. So I'm going to take my camera off the tripod here and put it on the gimbal instead. So
We
that
got
might
any
cause me to
viewers?
press some buttons. Yeah, we got a couple of people writing in.
They're probably saying, "You're doing it all wrong, you idiots."
Yeah, believe it or not.
Unplug that floppy disk. Boot options. DF0 still shows up,
Okay,
even
so
with no floppies connected.
okay, it might. Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I thought.
Okay.
But okay, hold on. And that there might need to be some jumpers that say, which I wouldn't, not for an external. I don't think so. But this says DF0 on it. See if you can see
back
that
out.
DF0. I don't know what that
Yeah.
jumper is, but that just tells me that sometimes you have to configure things.
Not what I meant. There we go.
DF0.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah, external or DF0. It
Yeah.
almost looks
Oh.
like
So it's kind of like, now, of course, you don't want to change that jumper while it's on. but
looking
I'm
kind of
showing
right
it,
down there in
Yeah.
the center.
But maybe that's a Google thing where.
Okay.
What does it say? What jumper? Does it say what jumper number that is?
J352, I think.
Okay, A
Correct. You
4000.
can read upside down.
J what?
352.
352. Let's see what this says. Good old jumper.
Stabilizes on there.
Okay, here we. Oh, we might have something. Okay. J351 is DF1 enable.
Okay.
But let's see, J35.
No idea where
Let's see, hold on.
351
It's
is.
probably on by default anyway.
I'm going to rotate this around so it's right side up, I think.
Well, I said J351.
Wouldn't this be right side up?
This is telling me the wrong one.
Maybe? Let me see.
Are you sure that doesn't say J351?
I don't see a J351 around there.
I mean, but you're sure that one says J352?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Yes,
only a
we're
2.
sure about that. Yes.
Okay, here, let me see if I can find a little bit more information. Other jumpers. This stupid website doesn't give me the J35. No, it says J.
I'm sure there's a
redirect.
Put this back down
Okay,
where it was. Try to catch
Amiga
up.
4000 jumper settings. Let's see here.
Here.
Let's see here. Okay, here we go. Oh, is it 852? Oh, no, 352. Here we go. Redirect DF0. So I think you can use it. Setting 1 to 2 internal. DF0 and DF1 internal.
perfect.
I think that it's probably set correctly. I'm sorry. Oh, cool. That's cool. It's
Yep.
on pin. It's hard to tell. Is it on? Oh, there it is. There it's on pin. Is it? That, I can't,
See, I'm guessing that pin 1 would be where the arrow is,
yeah.
which would
that's
mean
right.
that it's pointing more towards DF0. The EXT one is the one that's further back, and so I'd say that's what it's on now.
Redirect external and DF1. Yeah, you know what? I would power it off. It won't hurt anything. It'll just redirect it.
Yeah, you
If
can
you
just
want
give
to
it a
power
shot,
it off
huh?
and then move it over and then
Sure.
see if it'll boot.
Yeah, might as well.
All right. You want to hit the switch?
Yep, switch is hit.
And then
Now we'll
you got
take
it.
this and
All
We're just gonna move that over to the other 2 pins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just pull it up and move it down one.
There we go, that's
There we
it.
go.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Okay,
ready?
yeah, that's in the right spot. So yeah, let's give it a shot here. Where's our power switch again? It's up here. There we
Oh,
go.
do you need to plug in the drive now?
Yeah, drive needs to be plugged in again.
Yeah.
Got knocked out, I think.
I think we just
I
connected it.
unplugged
Okay.
it to see if that made any difference, and DF0 went away. And it
Gotcha.
You want me to go ahead and hold this down to see what the boot options are?
Sure.
All right. You want to hit it?
Yep, here it comes.
Boot options. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
It's going to say DF2. Let's just try that.
Mm-hmm.
Use boot. That's a lot different. It should be booting. No, that's stop.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try this one.
Okay. Yeah, always good to bring multiple workbench discs with you because I've definitely had.
Okay, this is the installed.
Okay.
Yeah, so at least at the very least. I guess let's just try and see if it'll boot first, and then if it doesn't, then we'll go into the boot options. But at least it recognized it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've certainly had instances where some of my old reliable discs have died on me.
Oh my gosh, quote unquote reliable, right?
Yeah.
There we go. It's.
Thinking.
I think it's reading. 18.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah, a
I
little
think it
flicker, huh?
crashed.
Yikes.
Maybe. No, maybe not. I don't know. It just looked like it went through the same cycle again.
Right. Oh
Maybe
my.
we have something else that's bootable.
Oh, I've got all kinds of stuff. Want a game?
Yeah, have a game. Well, yeah, if games don't run on an Amiga 4000s. That's been well, not without special. Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's
Okay, I got a guru meditation.
Oh.
So that's good. So let's try a different disc then.
Yep.
Something else.
Gotta
that you
love
think
recording
will-
CRT monitors. They always like.
Okay.
Oh, always do the weird, yeah.
Yep, always the gremlin. All right, I'm putting this thing into the gimbal, and so that's why it's going to be a little weird for
You're
a
gonna
second.
Lock it into the gimbal, huh?
Yeah, might as well. Give us a little more
My-
leeway
my
to do
gimbal
whatever.
lock joke? Oh.
Well, now it's going to go haywire for a moment. Turn it on. Get it frozen up. Oops. Sorry about landscape real fast. I'm going to put this back into portrait mode. Nope.
Seem to be doing
Yeah.
much.
There we go. Great. Now he should be
You wanna-
way more steady.
I'm just going to power it off and then power it back on if that's all right.
Mhm.
You have it. Where's the?
Oh, wait, there it
Switch is
goes.
up here. Oh.
There it goes.
What do we do?
Just as we're fiddling with it, of course, computers.
Yeah, it's like I heard it. We want to turn it off.
Yep.
Hey, there you go.
All right, Amiga, ROM operating system and libraries. Cool.
Hey, that's a year after I graduated high school.
Wow.
Okay, so
That was the year I graduated kindergarten.
Yeah,
that stuff all works.
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempted just to try plugging this card back in.
Yeah, I would. At this point, we got it warmed up.
Processor works. And
Mm-hmm.
everything else.
So let me turn this off, I guess, and then we can pop it back
Yeah,
in.
and let me just check if there's. Look at these other jumpers. Just see if there's anything else here. CPU.
There we go.
There's a CPU clock source.
Mhm.
That's ROM speed. Disable RAM size. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe the 4000s are a little better about having it.
You could try a different
stuff.
slot, maybe, too,
Yeah.
if that would make a difference.
Okay, we can do that. Slide down one. Okay.
I don't know. Does it care? I don't know. If it cares
I don't
or
think it
not.
does.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't, but sometimes you
Yeah.
get these things just be persnickety for...
Well, I just remember the old Amiga 2000 where
Mm-hmm.
the slots, it's like some of them were PC slots.
Right.
And some of them were, you know.
Yeah, I've certainly had a fair share of ISA devices in the Amiga 2000 that were giving crap about it.
Yeah, that's I forgot the
Okay,
name.
hit it.
Mhm.
Well, do you want to plug in the power?
Oh,
It's right here?
yes,
There we
thank
go. No, it's fine.
Yes.
Good
All right.
idea.
Give power to the people. Okay, here we go. Here's the magic button.
Do we want to remove this disk to see if it'll boot from it, or no?
Well, yeah, sure. Oh, it's not.
Okay, and then we'll just see if it'll try and boot from that drive. Do you know if this has a bootable partition on it, or?
It certainly should, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, worst case scenario, you can take the drive home with you. I got plenty of SCSI drives.
I'm not sure I heard that spin up, though.
No, I don't think I heard it spin up either. In fact, I didn't really hear much of anything. Power supply's going on, though.
I feel it. It's going.
Oh, it's going?
Real slow. Real slow. It's not, it's not reading from it. Otherwise, you'd hear it go, you know.
Right.
Hang on, I'm going to do that.
There you go. And, remember last time it took a little while for it to boot up?
Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I bet it'll be. I'll take a few pictures too, guys. I brought my camera this time, so
Cool.
if I wanted some good reason to click, it's going to be good use.
Let's see how we're doing. Oh, hey, look at this. John Maddox from Fort Worth is joining us.
What's that?
I'm holding the mouse. I'm not getting the preview screen again.
It might not like I think there's something that has to be configured with that card. Is my suspicion.
The SCSI card?
On the motherboard, sometimes like there was a. Let's see. There was a, and I don't know if it means like there's a CP. No, that wouldn't be it. It's just a. I don't really see anything that should. Unless there is a setting on the card itself. It is an Amiga. What is it? A2091?
Yeah. It looks way more populated than my 2091.
I'm still not feeling that drive come alive.
Yeah, I don't really see any jumpers or anything on this either. I mean,
there's some that are for the memory configuration. I saw.
Now, is there anything supposed to be in this Molex connector?
Well,
is it a Molex in or a Molex out?
That is there in case you wanted to power the drive directly from the card, the power going to the card.
Sure.
But I'm powering it directly from over
Power
here.
supply.
But hang on, this.
Maybe I ought to give it a shot.
Hang on, I'm that.
And look, little cattywampus.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to reseat that.
But I felt it. It has a little power to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't.
Okay,
just
now
the
where'd
hands
that
weren't
turn
reading.
off?
But hey, I don't know. We'll try anything.
Right. All right, let's.
There we go. I heard that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Kind of goes along with our pushing the power cord in a little more. These older things.
Yeah. Still gonna think about it for a while. Jeez.
Yeah, I think it kind of.
But it should be doing something now.
I don't know.
Or in a few more minutes, I guess.
Yeah, sometimes last time it. It may just not have a bootable OS on it. I don't know. Or maybe, I just don't know. You never know.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be showing you something.
The only way I would think to... Yeah, it tried to boot up, right?
Yeah, I think
wonder
so.
if it'll still boot from this workbench.
That's what I would try. Because if it is a setup disk...
It should... Well, it might detect.
You'd think it would.
These are so finicky when it comes to like setting up hard disks and stuff. I went through some of that
no.
last year where it was just like, you have to do this. You have to be careful too. 'Cause
fry something.
Well, or I just like format things and.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Johnny when you need him?
Yes.
And Johnny wants to stay on his side of town, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, he didn't come last month because he had to work last month.
Yeah, he had to work on Saturday, but.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure he would have been thrilled with 35 traffic.
Was it pretty light or pretty heavy?
It was pretty heavy coming from the south. So you put the floppy disk in here ahead of time?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no boot menu, no nothing, so it doesn't like to boot from.
And you were holding down the double mouse
Yes,
buttons?
I was.
Okay.
Because normally when I do that, it'll display all of the partitions on the disk drive.
Mhm.
Choose which partition to try and boot from.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's options, Jumper, but I imagine it's been set. I don't know. There's just something weird about it. It's not booting right off the bat. Did this used to have a DF0?
Oh, yes.
I'm just wondering
At one
that-
point in time, I forget why I was doing something and needed to remove it, and I just never did hook it back up.
The only reason I say that is I just wonder, this is just brainstorming here, if it could have like a dependency where it's like the hard drive was looking for something on DF0 or, I don't know, and maybe not, because it should boot without it, but,
Right.
but or like the hard drive's looking for it. I don't know.
I'm absolutely sure that the last time I booted it up,
Uh-huh.
there was no disk drive
Okay.
there. I
Mhm.
know
And
that.
you had this in here as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to throw anything at the wall and see what sticks.
Half tempted to go back up to the house and grab another 2091, another SCSI drive. It'll only take me maybe half an hour to get up there, or half an hour to come back.
Let's see what those. Oh, here's a jumper settings. I don't think it would be full length memory card.
Yep.
Okay, yeah,
Thinking
yeah.
about something
It
now.
has to think about it for a while. It's looking for something.
Mhm.
It's looking for Zorro. Getting out of it.
Okay, now it's just falling back to itself, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it was trying to boot from that and it couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
No, it's coming from the ROM though, so it's definitely not even reading from the disk. I don't think, huh?
No, it should read from the disk.
Here we go.
Okay.
DF0 is unreadable, but there's no DH0.
True. Oops, that keyboard had a bit of repeat in it.
Yes, and I will also caution you that the C key doesn't always work.
Okay.
Well, they know a thing or two about
Whoops.
Keyboards, that's for sure.
which that was something new for me
Mm-hmm.
to hear about. It's so funny.
He's
How's the little
There
guy
you go.
doing?
That's
doing
what
great.
now.
Walking around on his own these days.
Into everything, I'm sure.
Oh, what next?
I don't think he's actually getting into as much as he could, to be honest.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, listen to that. Just unstuck itself, huh?
Did I touch that?
Oh.
I mean, I leaned over to look at that, but I didn't. I don't think I touched anything.
Mm-hmm. Just needed to be woken up, I guess.
Yeah. Do you think
How
if you
about
try and
if you try
reset it?
rebooting it?
Yeah. Do you want to take this disc out?
Yeah, why not?
Honestly, you would probably want to replace that drive anyway, because those drives are so old that they go bad
Mm-hmm.
super fast.
Oh, to be honest, I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to this.
Well, yeah.
I've got
I
a
guess.
collection. I've got a whole shoebox of the 50-pin SCSI drives.
Yes.
Are they good, or do you just get rid of them? Sorry.
I have a number of them too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Whenever I know that they're bad,
Mhm.
otherwise I'll get them confused. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I just launch them.
Yeah, for the most part, they're untested, to be honest, I would say. But if they're bad, I would probably just write bad on them or pitch them. Or 'cause
Yes.
people around here like the magnets and things inside of them or the mechanisms or
As long as
whatever.
they'll take them apart where you can't use them. Now,
Yeah.
one thing is its option is I've always heard about the, maybe Ned, you know more about this than I do, the LUN, LUN enable, or have you guys heard of that before? I just remember there's always been some kind of issue sometimes with the LUN settings. I don't know.
Not really in the Amiga context, but in some other contexts, there's been LUNs.
Yeah. Because that's what that
Logical
option
unit
is.
number, I mean, is kind of just a generic industry acronym for it.
I've never heard of it before.
I think that...
I mean, I've heard of it only in the context of Amiga.
Oh, yeah.
And I was always kind of told, well, set it to this. And so,
Okay. So think when I was at HP, we had LUNs essentially to represent blade numbers or things like that. You can go into the console and you say, all right, light up the light for LUN number 1, and it would light the light on it so you'd see which blade it was.
oh, so then what does it stand for?
Logical unit number, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, not so interesting.
Well, then, so this would be logical unit number 0, then I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, I don't hear the hard drive coming back as it was.
If I test it again.
Give it his magical touch. Maybe he's got the Midas touch here.
Just kidding.
It's just... Make sure it's nice and firm.
Yeah. I think there's something else that started to read from it. I personally think, because I mean, I don't think I touched it or anything. I think it just started popping up.
Yeah, I
But
can
it
only
did take a
imagine.
little while. It did take a little while. In fact, since this finally started booting up, you want to just leave it alone and give it about a minute?
I don't know. I don't know what to do at the moment. I'm kind of grasping at straws too.
Yeah. So we give it a minute and it'll start. It'll fire up. It's my guess. I don't know. It seems to.
I just don't quite understand though that when I reboot it and hold both mouse buttons down, that reboot screen doesn't automatically pop up like it has done once or twice.
The boot screen
Yeah, the boot screen, yeah.
is a little thing.
Yeah, not with 2091 in there, huh?
Yeah.
It only
Yeah.
does it when you got the card out. And we had it in the top slot originally, and then we moved it down to the third slot. There's possibly a couple other slots to try, but I don't know if it would make a huge difference.
Yeah, I don't either.
Starting to beep at you or something, I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Something started to beep.
Yep.
Maybe a bad hard drive.
Yeah, that could be.
I mean, the fact that it's not even spinning up like that, not even powering up, and how loud it was, I don't know.
Well, no, I think it's always been that loud, and I mean, the hard drive obviously worked because we booted up. I don't think we were booting off a floppy, so it loaded.
No, we booted up from
Oh, we
floppy.
did?
I think it actually came from the ROM.
No, the ROM won't boot. The ROM's what it's used to boot, but it has to have a little OS. You have to boot from either the workbench, from either the floppy, or the hard drive.
So there's no OS loaded in the ROM at all, huh?
No,
Okay.
That's just a
There we
Kickstarter.
go.
Yeah, Sarah Mecca said, give it a minute, maybe.
Yep.
So let's see.
Okay, so there's something.
Yeah, it's thinking about it. Nothing new on screen, though.
That to me almost sounds like we have a SCSI termination problem, that
Yeah, but it's only got
SCSI
one.
isn't terminated properly, therefore it's just waiting forever for things
Yeah,
on
it's
the bus
looking-
to
and that's-
time out before it finally
Exactly.
goes anything.
That's why I thought the missing BF0, I thought it might be looking for it. And yeah, sometimes they do weird timing things when they're looking for it.
Yeah, I'd like to know kind of where the jumper is then. On this, you got for SCSI termination and all. If you're not,
Oh,
Let's see here, I can tell
it would
you.
be probably on the back there.
Oh, okay, yeah, on the drive itself.
Is and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, it probably might even.
Tell you on the
Oh,
descriptions.
you mean on the drive itself?
Yeah, there's termination enablement here on the end,
These are like little bitty
which
pins.
is can't
Or
really
not
tell
little
from
bitty
here.
Jumpers, but I thought it would be on the
Yeah.
back. They're right here, usually. I thought, maybe not on this one.
Oh,
Okay, so you got a SCSI connector.
it is over here, I think.
They're usually next to the power supply, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like there's not enough room. So maybe it is on the front.
Oh well, there's maybe that stuff there too. I don't know. That's could just be leads though.
Oh, it's going to be on the underside of the drive. I
Oh,
bet
brother.
you that's not what it is. Because I remember they use those baby, I could be wrong, but I remember you're seeing those really small jumpers that are really short.
Yeah.
And I've seen those on the controller card on the other side.
Yep.
Because this is such a wider connector,
Yeah.
then there's not enough room for them back here. But
Yeah. IDEs will always have them in between the connector and
the power,
the
yeah.
power, but not the SCSIs. SCSIs don't have room because of the big cable.
Yeah, and so but man, I would be shocked that it would be wrong. I mean, you'd have to
Me
unscrew it
too.
and take it off, and
Unless you replace this at some point, but I can't
or
imagine.
unless there was another hard drive in here located that was connected up to say the accelerator board, which I don't know if it even has a SCSI, or the main board. Isn't the main board going to have the motherboard's going to have a built-in SCSI controller? Maybe
Not necessarily, I
Maybe
don't
not,
think.
yeah.
No, the 4000 was IDE,
Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah, that's why this is there.
which is what this is.
That was
That's the
completely
IDE.
IDE. Okay.
Yeah.
So really, you could get away without having a 2091. I guess you could put in an IDE
Oh, yeah,
hard
yeah,
drive.
Yes, you could. Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're just. I think they were they're slower.
Well, I think I could put in a 250 gigabyte. I've got plenty of IDE things
That's
left
right.
over.
I got rid of all these drives. I just have a what do you call it?
CF or SD card, something or
Yeah.
other. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
SD to
Compact
SCSI is a
flash?
popular one.
Compact flash, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So CCF. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just hanging on to hard drives as
But-
much as I can. In fact, I got a couple of ST412s in the other room right now.
Oh yeah. I guess I say that I did it on for my 1200 because it used a smaller one, but I think my 030s will still have that on there.
Yeah.
But
My 1200
I haven't
actually
messed
has
with it much.
a large CF card on it for all kinds of games and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we want to try unplugging the CD-ROM drive? I don't know if that would necessarily make
I
a
would
difference.
think that you might try unplugging this guy. Is my
The
thought.
floppy?
Just a thought, just kind of the next step, and just see if it's. And I don't know. I'm
Okay. Turn on.
It is kind of handy having the switch there instead of having to use that other switch as much.
Yeah.
In the past, whenever I have turned this thing on, it does take a little while for the hard drive to really.
Oh, and you've got a 68060 in here too.
Yes, yes,
Nice.
Yes, uh-huh. It wasn't the fastest thing to boot up, but at least it would be. I think we would always have been hearing action from it by now.
How many Amigas do you have now?
500, 1200, 2000, 2000, 1000.
Okay, just curious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm glad to know I'm not the only insane one collecting them.
Right.
Well, I still have a 12.
There's actually I think one of the board members here has a 1000 in box she was looking to get rid of with the 1080 monitor in box too.
Oh wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
What do they want for it?
Too
Too much?
it's hard to say because she said she was open to offers. I threw out like 250 or something and she poo-pooed that, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're looking for eBay prices, it's kind of go to eBay.
Yeah.
That's-
Well, here's
I had no, but it's not like make offers. When I tell people when they say make offers, then they're going to expect a low offer
Sure.
because I want a good deal. That's kind of like what it is. And just throw something out.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
but
you're
if
the
you
one
just
that
like
said make
poo-poo the
offer.
idea, well, then what do you want?
Right.
Because 250s, that's
Should be a decent price. I mean, I'm not a box person anyway, so I'm just gonna probably cut those up and toss them.
I am there's just, I'm kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm.
I like the boxes for the monitors,
Yeah.
but really, and I've got a few boxes, but you're right, I don't know.
Yeah, like all that's gonna happen to those boxes is I'm gonna put them in the attic and the rats are gonna chew them up.
Yeah.
The mice are gonna poop in them or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not useful.
The rats, huh, Steve? You live? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there's mice. You know, we live
I know,
next to a
there's
park,
mice.
and so.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm the same way. I had a mice that kind of, I'll find little pieces of paper that have been there forever, and they'll have little
Yeah.
things, bites all over them.
There's I don't know, like a moving blanket we keep real close to the water heater, and man, that thing is covered in rat poop right now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I have to keep shaking it out, and they keep, despite there's 3 traps in there, they never get the traps.
Yeah, go figure.
Mm-hmm.
They're too busy making food in the kitchen, like Ratatouille, right?
Yeah. Yeah, making food out of God only knows what.
Yeah.
I'm sure they
it's just,
eat the insulation or whatever, too.
Yeah, no, that's...
There's the hard drive spinning up now.
It was weird that we didn't get a picture on it at first, though, or did we? We've never gotten a picture.
Not with the 2091 here. Yeah. No picture. Yeah, so like, you know, and honestly, I didn't even see the 1000 in there in the picture, so it wasn't clear to me if it was just the 1000 foam packaging plus the monitor, in which case I don't want to pay like $250 for just a monitor.
Oh, you mean, you didn't see the computer? Do you think that she was going to sell you something that didn't have a computer in it?
It's entirely possible. I mean, I wasn't talking to her directly. I was talking to some intermediary who usually likes to hunt for things for me.
Yes, yeah. Okay, one of those.
Yeah, which, you know, has been useful. He's got me a good deal on a 2000, actually. I was able to find, I don't know if this means anything to you, but the red letter A version of the keyboard. Which is like the original version of the keyboard.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I've seen them. I've got lots of different keyboards.
I see.
But I don't pay as much attention to the keyboards as you guys do, so...
Yeah, so he was able to find me like an Amiga 2000 with the 2091 and like a up to 8 meg expansion card in it for like $150.
This group right here has been the one. This group and Craigslist have been the best options for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, picking stuff up here and there. How's Bill doing? Is he hanging around?
Ricky?
Yeah.
He's doing fine. I think he, being an older gentleman, I guess probably older than I am, he's just wanting to be very cautious with the COVID
Current
stuff.
COVID stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he said we probably wouldn't see him until maybe sometime this summer or something. But
Oh, okay. Well, I hope he's doing all right.
he still runs the newsletter and
Yeah, he did. In fact, I was going to say, they ought to, if they're not, because I noticed in the newsletter they said that they weren't going to take dues anymore.
yes,
I thought it the same.
Our club at the moment really doesn't really need the dues. I mean, we have probably enough in treasury to last another 6 or 7 years at this rate,
Oh, okay.
without anybody paying any dues. But you know, and because of the, I don't know, size of the meetings or whatever, and
Yeah, encourage.
et cetera, we're just trying to encourage people to come.
That makes
and so the deal is, if you show up at a meeting, you're a member for the next year until you don't show up again.
Yeah, or ask yourself to remove from the email list.
Yeah,
which
poor
I keep
Steve.
removing his name, which
Sure.
I don't even remember who that is. Steve, I don't remember Steve Eggers?
Yeah. He's the one who, I believe he lives in Burleson. He's the one who set up our meeting room with the Burleson Library. And
Oh.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I sent him an email inquiring of him whether he wanted me to, whether he was just tired of when I send out an email, somebody sends out an email, everybody responds to everybody, and he's just
Yep.
overloaded with replies, et
Yeah.
cetera.
Mm-hmm.
Or if he just wants to, yeah.
Or if he just wanted me to send him a private email once a month, you know, telling him about the meeting, and not, so he didn't get all these extraneous things.
Right.
And we never heard back.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what's going on there. For sure.
Yeah, I just try and respond and say, hey, remember this guy is,
Yeah, out
just
of
to try. But it's a little tough because we just kind of used to reply all and stuff.
right. Yeah, exactly. And it's too bad that Steve left because it sounded like he had some interesting project ideas and things he wanted to do too.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, yeah, I guess you never know. I hope he's he reconsiders. But I was just gonna say, if when the time comes, it's like they ought to be open to. I just don't want the money for like the web space to be coming out of anyone's pocket directly.
Yeah, well,
so if they take donations or something, we ought to have like something where you can make donations.
Yes, well, currently that is really the only real expense we have every year. The web, paying for the web hosting, and every 2 or 3 years have to
Renew the domain name, yeah.
or something like that. And
Yeah, because the meeting space has been free for a long time, right?
Right,
Mhm.
yes. And so that's why I say, we can probably last for, 4, 5, or 6 years.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
I did, yeah.
It runs out of money.
Yeah.
I knew it was just to spur membership. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't coming out of someone's pocket by themselves.
No.
That's the only thing I thought,
Yeah.
because I don't, especially whenever we can all, the rest of us can
I'm
donate.
gonna do a 3-finger reboot. It does something.
Now the hard drive is spinning down.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's spinning back up a little bit.
What
Is she?
this?
I don't know.
You unboxing a laptop over there and you're disappointed with the power supply they gave you?
Dude, one of these things, are they taking a cue from Apple? Well, Apple sucks, all right? Because they have these things.
Yeah, the real super chunky ones for no reason,
you
huh?
can't fit anything else on the power cord for it. And it looks like maybe you can.
Hack it down.
Well, it does have a little thing, where like the Apple, where you can remove it, but it's got a sticker on it and be like a warranty void or
Of
something.
course.
And,
Mhm.
But anyway, I got a great deal on it. I wanted something small that I could move around, not
Yeah.
something large. But it's a 4-core Pentium.
Nice.
It's the biggest problem with it though. 4 gigs RAM.
Yeah.
Soldered to the main board.
Ah.
So.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. So that is disappointing. But for the price, I couldn't find, and for the size, because the size was, I couldn't find anything that wasn't the same way. And the next jump up, I paid out the door. It was like $375.
Not bad.
And and everything. If you wanted anything with more RAM or anything, it jumps up to like $750.
Oh, no.
Ridiculous prices. And so it's like, no, I just want something small that I can either code on or
Well, I guess they're sick of consumers taking advantage of them by just buying the minimum memory and then buying all the aftermarket stuff because they know.
Well, that's Apple's game for a long time.
Not that we want anybody following their lead.
Boy, no kidding.
Unless you're talking about the M1 processors, that's about it. But like some of their other shenanigans, man.
Boy, I've about had it with Apple. Well, I switched to Android a long time ago, but Google's just as bad.
Well, blame the manufacturers.
Yeah.
They're trying a different spot.
Yeah.
I wonder if you want to try power off the board, maybe a different one of these instead.
There, okay. All right, okay, well, okay, this is the wrong gender to plug.
Oh, it is,
on
okay.
Plug on the 2091, there you go. That
Okay.
works.
Cool.
Well, let's give this a try. There's the disc. Good.
So I woke the disc right up right away, but then still a little questionable out here.
Did it boot up? I mean, did the disc sound off?
The disc sounded off right away.
Yeah.
What difference did you do?
You just plugged it into a different Molex connector from the power supply.
Oh, yeah. I think because that makes sense. I mean, because it'd be being supplied with power. I don't know why it would delay in power. I guess it's kind of weird.
Otherwise,
Is that somebody Amiga related, or?
I don't know.
I would doubt it, but you never know. Yeah, sounds like it's trying to move around. Oh, now it rebooted itself. It did flicker the screen, so...
There's one screen flicker in here that Johnny would know about, telling you that it's the accelerator board telling you that, you know, I'm alive, or something like that.
Hey Steve,
What's up?
do you know this gentleman here wants to find information about a membership, and you know a little bit about that? Is there somewhere where?
Sure thing. So yeah, why don't you man the gimbal?
Okay.
Point it
Or
at
do you want
useful
to pause it
things.
for a little while, or is that
I
in the stream?
It's in the stream. I could always put it on the tripod too, I guess.
So here,
It's just got the regular joystick kind
I'll
of
go ahead
back
and
and
use
forth
it.
stuff. Okay,
All
cool. Excellent.
Just like
Then
this,
I'll
like this.
let it
Is this
know.
on YouTube?
Yes, it is. Say hi to all
Okay,
the
say
people.
hey Ned. All right, there's the Steve-O right there. This is pretty. This works pretty well. Just giving a look around the room, everybody. Never used this before, so kind of cool. Oh, hey! There you go. What was the difference there? Was it just
Dave, you're a jinx! That's it. It boots up.
Was it just plugging it into the?
I have no idea.
I think so.
I
I think
don't
it was
know.
just from plugging it directly from plugging the hard drive directly into the power supply was the only difference, because we don't even have the floppy drive hooked up. Very nice though.
There you go.
How do you? Oh, this is cool. Forgive me, I'm figuring, for anyone watching, I'm trying to mess with the gimbal here and figure out how it all works.
Yep, there we go. 128 megabytes of fast RAM, 2 megabytes of chip.
Very nice. Good job.
It does
All right.
work.
Yeah.
All right.
Still figuring this thing out. .68060 chip. Got some fast RAM on that little board. Very nice. Let's get a look at some of the specs on the back. 4000, obviously. Like that.
Yeah, what, the hard drive?
Dude, here's
You're
the
a
man.
jinx.
Here's the man of the hour right there. Yeah, look at it. It's only because of those striped pants.
No kidding. What happened?
It just booted up. I
I
think
wish I knew.
I think it was the difference was because of this guy right here, right? Because you plugged it straight in, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just maybe a more direct path to power. So all we did was just put it in a different Molex connector off the power supply, and it gave it some time, and it worked.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit making sure that the connections were a little bit more sealed. You guys pushing on that maybe helped a little bit.
Wonderful. Well, let's see. Yeah, we got inspecting gadgets is awesome.
All right.
Good work.
That's right.
Cool. If you want, I can put that on the tripod, or you can keep kind of wandering around the gimbal with it.
I've kind of messed around with it. I'm very fascinated by it. I've been kind of figuring it out. But how do you put it on the? But I will have you. What is this? Maybe why don't you give me a demo of the gimbal right quick?
Yeah, it's really, a lot of these features become unlocked once you use DJI Nemo's app instead of the Streamlabs or anything. But normally this would be like a telephoto and a wide angle kind of zoom control. And then obviously you found the joystick kind of controls here. And then there's some features that you can unlock by tapping the shoulder button in the back and then by the power button a few times. You can tap it twice for landscape mode, tap it twice again for portrait mode. And then there's a few other features that you can also do as well. That's mostly the one that I use, though.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and is it kind of like a help as a stabilization thing, so that you're not just, or can it not, or does it not prevent a whole lot of that? I mean,
No, you can see,
because my problem if I'm doing this or whatever, I know it can only do so much, right? Because
yeah, exactly. But like you can see, like this action here.
That's
probably not seeing a whole lot of that on camera, but I'm shaking my hand.
Yes,
a whole bunch.
really good. Yeah, it makes somebody motion sick if they didn't have that on there. That's impressive. That's cool.
Yeah, so it really helps stabilize the video a bunch so people can enjoy watching the stream.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and then there's the other tripod that I brought.
So yeah, nice. It's
cool. I'm going to go back to this gentleman and show him the automotive bay.
All right.
So I'm going to hand this back to you. And if you want to put it on the tripod.
Yeah, let's go ahead and put it on the tripod just for now.
So then we're going to kind of expand this out a little bit, and then we can expand this one out a bit as well.
Okay, yeah, here.
And then pop that down. Good. And there we go.
Oh, okay.
You just kind of point it at what you want.
You don't need to power this off. Oh, wait, yeah, here's
You can, but it probably wouldn't hurt. Actually, yeah, so you just hold it.
Oh, just hold it.
Yeah. And then it chimes usually. There we go.
Nice.
Yep, because otherwise if you try to set it down, it's going to counteract that and burn out the motors maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I tried to, and I was just kind of like, well, how do I, and I kind of moved it, and it was kind of like, and I'm like, I'm not, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hold somebody else's thing and break it.
Right.
So, okay, yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you mess with 4000s much anymore? What are your toys these days, Mr. Ned?
My primary machine over there is the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, okay.
And I still have
With you're running an Amiga OS on it, though, right? Or are you just running Linux?
I run Linux and Raspberry, the Raspberry Pi version.
The version of it. Okay, there you
go.
go.
Then underneath that, I run an Amiga emulator called, I think the full title of it is Run in UAE.
Just curious, let's pick it.
Which is a variation of UAE.
Win UAE, yeah. Which is I'm used from the Windows world on that. So.
And I like it. My primary mail application is still on the Amiga under there. But I do. However, I use the Raspberry Pi version of it for browsing the web.
Gotcha.
The web browsers on the Amiga aren't very good.
Yeah. I mean, back in the day, I didn't. It was just kind of funny, was because I don't remember where it was, but there was something about getting the whole thing of getting files that were like on like the Amy, I don't remember what the websites were, but there was like some like file repositories or whatever.
Oh, AmiNet.
Yeah, like AmiNet, and getting those from the internet onto my Amiga, and it was just like super difficult to figure out how to get that to work. I was looking at like a USB card that they used to make called Deneb, I think, from a German guy, and I used to set that up, and but it's just like you couldn't find them anymore, and it was in a big invest, and it was just like there's got to be a better way. And it's been funny to watch new technology come out for these machines, and usually you don't hear about it. Unless you're flipping through eBay sometimes, and you see them, or maybe on some of the old, like on the English.Amiga board or the Amiga.org, or what is it called? There's a few forums that you could find out some of that new information, but yeah, that was always the trick, was getting that information to there. I finally figured out that it was like I have a 2500. It has a CD-ROM drive on it that this guy helped me install. It was a lot of work, and he enjoyed it though. And I sent him $50 over PayPal because I took a lot of his time, and I was like, thanks for your time. And so, but we got it working. But anyway, because the CDs use CDFS, which is the CD file system, I was able to burn discs on my CD burner and then read them onto the Amiga, and so that helped out quite a bit. But when you talk about Amiga browsing, yeah, that's everything. There was always all kinds of, of course this was like the older OSs. I'm not sure about a 4.1, stuff like that, but I'd use, but mine was just always using for BBSs, back when they had bulletin boards and stuff like that, so. But it's super cool.
The only problem I have with running the Amiga operating system on top of that thing is the fact that I can't run, well, with the emulator I'm running, the emulator takes over the entire screen. It takes over the system.
Yeah.
And if I want to do something back in Raspberry, I have to quit out of the emulator. I can't toggle screens back and forth or anything like that. There is another emulator that I have used occasionally, which doesn't have that problem, but with that emulator, it I guess emulates everything in a window, but you can't resize the window, and the window is like yay big on the screen, and it's just way too small. I have never figured out the way to.
Yeah, there's got to be a way. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, it's probably just buried in there, cryptic, or has some kind of weird key macro shortcut thing to do that. Yeah, I used to use one called Fellow or WinFellow, and it was written in like it was either written in assembly or C++, and it was a lot faster than, because those, more close low-level languages than WinUAE at the time. But at the same time, WinUAE has constant support, and they just make it more better and better and better and expand it out. So I don't even use that anymore. But I've got a Raspberry Pi 4 at home, but I haven't even used it. It's been one of those things where I'm like, this is cool. I'm trying. I got, I think probably the same Linux install, Raspbian or whatever, or maybe there's a different one, but the one that's, that everyone typically installs on it, and kind of got it up and going. I was like, yeah, okay, this is cool. We'll get back to this at some point, and it's just another project that I haven't messed with. So, but it's, it's cool.
The only complaint I have about that little thing.
I'm going to show everyone what you're talking about with the this thing right here, in case they're interested.
The only complaint I have about this is that the only processor you can put in there is the Raspberry Pi 3, and not the 4. Here, this is the innards of it.
I should be using the gimbal for this, but I'm not.
Raspberry Pi board right there.
Yeah.
And if you know the difference between the 3 and the 4, the USB ports, etc., and
I should be using
ports there are slightly different, not in the same place, etc., etc. So,
right, this doesn't quite line up. Right. I was telling Steve I should be using the gimbal for it, but we just did this all of a sudden. I was like, oh, I'll just grab it right quick and do this, but it's a neat deal. Oh, excuse me.
Well, this thing over here is working now. I just don't know if we can. If I should try turning it off and rebooting it and see if it still boots or whatever.
I mean, you got nothing to lose.
I would think so. It should work.
Okay.
See how it goes.
There you go.
It just might take it a minute. Did you get your membership, Steve-O?
So I got a fellow. I had him check out the automotive bays in the back of the building, and he seemed to be happy with the tools that we provided. Now, have y'all been through the Makerspace?
You showed me. Remember, we stayed here last time. We've been.
I cut out a little bit early. I didn't. I had to get home to my wife.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now, would you like to see the rest of it?
I guess I could. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's see.
Sure.
Oops, this thing just messed me up. Make sure I figured that Who all is watching us right now? 4 people are watching, including my phone, I guess.
Okay.
So it's 3 on the stream. Got a lot of thumbs up on it, which is cool. Appreciate all of you who have been joining us in our endeavors. I guess that we see that it's probably going to take a moment to start itself up again.
Assuming it does start itself up again.
Well, because I think last time, even after having done this, it still took maybe about 2 minutes.
I think with some configuration updates, it'll, you know, like checking out some of the jumpers and stuff, it'll go a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that screen flash you saw right there, I think that was the 68060 screen flash
Yeah,
thing that I'm alive.
Okay,
But-
cool.
Yeah, and I think that, so I think that, like, if you were to plug in it's looking for a floppy drive. In fact, that's what I've had happen, is that delay has happened when it's looking for a floppy drive.
Okay.
And so if you plug in a DF0, I bet you it will boot up a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. So I can just pop one out from my Amiga 2000, I guess.
At
least temporarily.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that-
Move this little jumper back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or you're going to move the jumper back from...
From
Where we
it
moved
was
it originally.
Put the original spot.
Yeah.
Got a lot of software out here. Got a original Amiga disc. Got the backup copy of the Workbench 3.1.
You forget how many floppies that I have sitting. Remember that from
Yeah.
the airport?
That was a
Like
great
this
meetup.
stuff, Like, yeah, exactly.
That
But
guy-
that's kind of the thing. It's just like,
Mhm.
you guy wants so much money. It's like, make an offer. And I'm like, I'm going to give you the offer that I want to pay. You
Right.
know?
I remember he was a little disappointed with some of the money that we were throwing out.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But that's just like, well, kind of what do you expect? I didn't show up here to, you know. Just,
Yeah, you weren't really expecting this. You
Yeah.
just kind of dropped in on it at the last second. But I was able to pick up some tank mice real cheap, which I never had one before, so that was useful.
Yeah.
At least the one I had was really flaky. Like the wire on it was real crusty and it would never go left very well.
Yeah, yeah. So I was real happy with it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't, you know, you're also talking to an enthusiast that we're not like retail,
Yeah.
you know, you're selling to wholesale kind of guys, so to speak.
Yeah, this is the friends prices, not the eBay prices.
There you go.
And
I
so
think
like,
that's
you
exactly
see
right.
that, well, the thing I was going to tell you about the board member is I think that based on what I saw from the screenshot of my broker and her conversation, I like to call him my broker, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he finds me things, but she had in her like windows a screenshot of like, here's what I saw. And it was an Amiga 3000T.
Oh my God.
And so she compared it with that thing. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, first off, Patrick, this thing actually sold for like over $3,000 on eBay. So if she thinks she's getting that price, or
Yeah.
like even 1,000, no, sorry.
Well, the fact that even if it was a 3,000, it's a 3,000, which a lot of times more, because of that VGA port, are a lot of times very highly sought after.
Mhm.
And then two, it was a tower.
Yeah.
And it's like, those are extremely looked after for if it's an original Commodore one. And
Yeah.
then, so it's kind of like, you can't compare that to an Amiga 1000,
Mhm.
where you still have to put a Kickstart disc in
Right.
before you boot from it. That was my, you know, yeah, it's just, there's no comparison there.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking too, it's like I bought, yeah, this is a long story a little bit, but just to make it short, I'll say that I got an Amiga 1000 from Computer Reset for like $75, including the monitor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had those kind of deals before.
And it was even from the guy that was a total jerk to everybody and would run you off the property and accuse you of stealing. He saw me with my car and he was like, well, I guess I could talk to you some more. And I said, well, he said, what do you want? I said, well, I want this, this, and this. He's like, all right, well,
Was
you
this
think
the
about...
guy who had the big, who had all the warehouses full of stuff?
Yeah, but not the same gentleman who ran the place. This
Oh,
fellow
okay.
was just almost like a squatter that claimed that he owned it and whatever, and would go up and just be and jerk to everybody.
Oh, wow.
What's funny is that
Because the owner's no longer,
owner passed away in September of 2019,
yeah.
but this fella had allegedly worked there before, and I guess he knew the owner and his daughter from the past. And he was actually the scrapper who would come and pick dead arcade boards up from Raymond in Highland Village.
Oh, wow.
But now it's just like, so he was known, but he was just for some reason a jerk to everybody. Computer Reset.
Huh.
And so finally Noelle put her foot down and said, Bill, you can't be coming around here anymore. Cutting ties with you, letting you go.
Yeah.
Give us the money that you took from people for their stuff, and then, we'll call it good.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Because he would drive up there in his whatever vehicle and just start yelling at people who were shopping around Computer Reset. And even the guy who was, like Richard's counterpart was Willie. And Willie would sit there and make wheel and deal with everybody. And he would get real mad at Willie, too.
Over what? And what authority did he have?
I don't know what authority he thought he had, but basically, I don't know what he was planning on doing. Maybe he wanted to scrap a place for himself and make, the 5 cents a pound for whatever.
Yeah, it just sounds like he was just trying to muscle in and rob people. I mean, that's what...
Essentially, but I mean, when I got the deal from him for the Amiga 1000, I was pretty happy with it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He gave me the monitor for $25, and I think the rest of the system for the remainder of $80 to $100 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. That's a fair price.
And so that's why, I offered for the boxes $250.
I think that was more than I would have volunteered. So I think you're doing more,
Yeah, I try to be a little more, I don't know, forthcoming with my money, I suppose, just to make people feel.
Yeah, and I do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, that's always kind of a tough call, right?
Yeah.
Because some people, they don't understand. It's like, well, hey, I know you want a lot of money, but I don't want to give a lot of money, and so there's always kind of, it's like, well, it's negotiating,
Right.
So I think.
Yeah, but anytime you can stay clear of eBay prices is always good.
Yeah, but sometimes that's where I go to sell certain things that I have extra that are just, that's, if I need to make the most money.
Yeah, and sometimes it's all right to go on and do that kind of stuff. Just duplicates or whatever.
That's right.
Nobody in your neck of the woods wants it.
But if I'm selling something to Johnny or something like that, I'm not going to say, it'll be $1,000.
Right.
I'm going to be like, dude, just give me what you want, or just, within reason.
I'm glad we're all up and running.
Yeah, no kidding.
Is there anything else that we want to do or talk about while we're here?
Well, I don't know. I can't think of anything. It's I'm not sure why it's taking quite this long to boot up when it does. I don't think it was that slow before.
I bet you once you put, and this is my thought, I bet you once you hook up a floppy to it, it'll speed up. That's just my.
Yeah, it'll be something to try. I guess, let me bring the camera around. I guess we could show the front of it. I don't think the folks on the stream have seen the front of the machine yet. And we got the top case for it here anyway. All the discs. And yeah, like Chris was saying, this is next to nothing. It's a big, it's just like a travel pack of discs basically. But from one of these Amiga meetings probably 4 years ago, I think Chris, you took like a whole chest of drawers full of discs.
Yes.
And I took a couple of like large boxes for myself too, not quite chest of drawers worth, but enough.
See, that's one of the reasons why I bought a pickup truck.
Yeah, right. Yes, that's pretty neat. You got a decent CD-ROM drive in there, and so you've used that one before, I'm assuming.
You could find
that's
those
wonderful.
things super cheap, and now it's just, I guess, just because of time.
Yeah,
they're a lot more difficult to find.
So how much memory? You said 128 in here, yeah?
Yeah. Here,
or at least.
I can even prove it.
Yep. Let's see. Kind of our system specs.
Push that to the back. Let's do that.
And it's got two.
Let's bring up the shell.
2 megs of chip RAM.
Right. Holy moly.
2 mega chip RAM. 120.
132, 332, 656.
I guess it has 132 mega fast RAM. I don't know, but yeah, it's got a lot of memory in it.
Nice. That is cool.
Yeah.
And
it looks like the majority of it is on the SCSI card or the accelerator card. So theoretically, I would think that would be faster than it would be if it's sitting on the main board.
I believe that is those are the memory cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are the
certainly.
memory cards, they are for sure. I'm just saying because if you look underneath here, those are the main board, and it's better to have. I would assume I don't know, that it'd be better to have them on here just because of the bus. You know, just by going, you know, it's faster to travel to the card.
Yeah, because what we're having here is, I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but this is on standoffs here. You can see there are the plastic standoffs, you know, right there in the center. And so there is the 6860, there's the 6860 right there you're looking at. This is the accelerator card. And yeah, certainly the memory's right on that.
Yeah. I mean, I would think, and I would, just my thought is I think that every bit of speed counts on these machines.
Yeah, no doubt. You really do need to milk the megahertz, and you know nowadays folks can be a little bit more, I don't know, careless with their processing speed as long as you're not trying to run high performance servers or something like that. But you let a few cycles go, and nobody's going to sweat it too much.
It looks like it's got so much fast memory that it can't even.
Yeah,
display it on the screen.
The little memory calculator there.
It's overflowed, huh?
To deal with that much, that much memory. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Okay, so like in the news, and unfortunately, this kind of stuff is going to be on my regular phone a whole lot easier instead of this one. But there have been some interesting Amiga articles that have come across the wire lately. I guess somebody had an HDMI adapter that they did for, I think, a 2000 or something like that came from a Raspberry Pi.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yeah, and I think there were some limitations. It was still in early development, right? And I think that there were certain things certain chipsets that it didn't quite support. But I think it may have supported OCS and ECS, but I don't think it supported some of the newer quote unquote newer.
Yeah, I saw OCS for sure. I didn't see ECS, but I didn't look that hard at it.
And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. And to me, it's all about it's been super frustrating and difficult to find anything that will turn the signal from that standard 50 kilohertz garbage, you know, graphics, you know, whatever the Amiga graphics or whatever you call it, that the either the Agnes puts or whatever the Gary or whatever the Paul, I don't know, whatever the chipset is that's incompatible with VGA.
Right.
And so trying to put it on a regular screen has been super frustrating. And so and you try. I bought on eBay. They'll have promises of people like this is a scan doubler. It's a flicker fixer, and you put it up, and it's just like banding. It's not, and it's just like I worked with this one guy, and bless his heart, he was thought maybe it worked in his, and you know how this is in software development.
Yep.
It's like maybe it worked perfectly on his, and he says he wasn't using these cheap boards out of China. He was using something else, and I thought, so I ordered it. It was like $250.
Right.
And but I made sure and got, hey, if this doesn't work, I can return it and all this. He said, yeah, I'll work with you. And he worked with me, but it was just, maybe it's interference, and I'm like, dude,
oh no.
It's like I wanted this to just work. Because, when you're spending that kind of money, and, and it was an external deal, so it's kind of like, you know what, I've just, so I ended up sending him back, and, it was, I hated that, but that sounds like something that at least might be possible. While you were out of the room, I was telling Ned about it. It just seems so cool that people are still coming up with these new devices that work with this legacy hardware.
Right.
And now that you've got like Ethernet adapters and things like that, because we're talking about web browsers and how they're not very good on the Amiga, and that blew my mind to even think about web browsers on the Amiga. But some of the newer ones like the Amiga 4.1.
But the web browser that I had on my Amiga 4, on my Amiga 1, which runs OS 4.0 or 4.1 these days, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But, and yet still, the thing that frustrates me is that, going to websites, you wind up using Firefox or Chrome or something. Go to one website and works fine. Go to this other website.
Yeah.
No, you got to use another browser over there to get the display right. And
It's just as frustrating for programmers as well, let me tell you.
Yeah, I used to do a bit of front-end development, and now I just can't anymore. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Exactly.
There are people that love that stuff, though, but it's not me.
That's just something that's just kind of me. It's just something you have to do, but using stuff like React and stuff tries to obscure some of that.
Absolutely.
Like
I can sort of understand it in the sense that if you need to get absolutely the last drop of whatever out of, if I'm the web developer and I'm trying to get the last ounce of whatever out of the software to really wow people, yeah, you're probably going to wind up creating stuff that isn't going to work on every web browser. But I don't need to be wowed. I just want the basics to work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're exactly right. So.
Oops. This thing wants to be in portrait mode again. Landscape. Flip it. Flip it.
So I'll definitely be checking
confused.
something out. I just want anything that's external that I can hook up to a regular monitor, because it's tough to keep moving these around. It looks like it may have been dropped at one point.
Yeah.
So I'm with
The
you.
last time I tried to move this, I had
There
this
we go.
thing setting on my trash can in the kitchen.
Oh no.
And it wasn't really quite stable enough, and the thing toppled off.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's so
no.
front heavy.
Floor.
Yeah. There's
Yep.
so
And
front
it
heavy.
cracked, but it still works fine.
Yeah, that was a great thing. Like, I had gotten some of these scan doublers as well. I had the one for the 500 and the one for the 2000 that I bought from the Germany website, I guess. And
Oh, from Jens Schofield, whatever his name is.
individual computers.
That's his company.
Yeah, I've had no problems with them for
But
myself.
those are the ones that you have to mount inside.
Yeah, they mount inside. You got to pop off the old chip, plop in the new one.
Exactly, and that's great. But it's just like, I want one that's external, because I've got we've got several Amigas, and I want to be able to just
Swap
move
it.
them back and forth. And,
Right.
And what they call for the Commodore. That's the only thing I've got. Past that, I have to use
The old clunky monitors.
the old clunky monitors.
Yeah, even the flicker flickers that I have, though, aren't like super fantastic, because the 500 only does VGA, and the 2000 one only does DVI, or the 1200 rather, not the 2000.
Oh.
And so
Okay.
DVI has been kind of a real pain to find lately.
Yes, it is. And then, of course, you've got two different kinds of DVI, right? That little connector, it's like you've got the actual little rows of pins.
Yeah.
And you've got some other 4 pins, and then
Yep.
sometimes it has a little cross in the middle, the wide it's just that's a different DVI, because there's two different standards, and I don't know.
Well, so what happens is the 24 pins are for your digital connection, and then the little cross arrangement on the side is the cross is the ground, and you got 4 pins for your RGB for the analog stuff. Now, I've got a Samsung monitor that does not have even the cutouts for the analog stuff.
Yes.
So most of my cables don't frickin' fit in that monitor.
That's what I'm talking about.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah. And I've had adapters, because I've tried to adapt it, and I'm like, why won't this go in? And you look at it, it's just like, wait a minute, this doesn't have the same pin connection.
Yeah, so as much as I can get away from DVI, I'd like to.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's why I thought HDMI. I mean,
The smaller
I'll
connector, it's
keep-
way more
I'll have
standard.
to keep an eye on that to see if if that turns into something.
Yeah, and it might have been a peripheral for the 1000 anyway, still, but even still, there's a lot. There's been definitely a few things coming across my newsfeed lately, and that was one of them.
Where do you get most of you guys' Amiga news when you hear things?
I just happen to click on enough retro computing stuff on my Android that it'll just come up in my, if I open a new tab on Chrome, or if I swipe left on the news, it'll just show me
Yes.
things like that.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it's actually from Hackaday, really.
I subscribe to an Amiga publication, Amiga Future, which is out of Germany.
Okay, I've heard of that. I assumed that was defunct.
No, they're still around.
Because, it's kind of like whenever people show you old Amiga Power or any old magazines, you figure that they're not around. Like Amazing Amiga, that was one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just it's not around anymore. Or, but I didn't know if there was still,
They're still around. They publish both a German and an English language version, and it comes out every other month, I think.
Okay,
Nice.
I might have to check that out then. Is it only a newsletter, or can you get obviously they'd have to probably mail it to you or something.
Yeah. They mail it to you, and you can get either just the magazine, or you can get the magazine and a CD with it every month that has.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I've got a couple of copies with me. You can look at them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I had no idea.
Plus,
because I still have like my Amiga World. I don't know. I've always been a physical copy kind of person, and I know that's kind of
a dying medium.
yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been also on a Discord as well, and the Discord has the guys that's real big into Amiga stuff, and those are beautiful looking magazines too.
Yes, I know. They're very, very heavy duty, professionally made.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, sort of sewed in, dude. That's awesome. Well, how old? And this is 2020. Awesome. That's a classic game. That's a lot of fun over there.
The CDs that come with these.
Oh my
you
gosh.
get the CD option. It has some of these free games that have just been released,
Like
if you will.
Gotcha.
There's a reason to subscribe right there then.
Yeah, no kidding.
You get CD media with your games on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they got an English version. I had some schematics that I had to send over to a guy, and it was in German, but he was the same guy who programmed my ROM switcher, and so I sent him over. Hey, it's like, hey, dude, can you build this? I'm like, sure. And he, built it for me. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fascinating. I didn't even know that there were counterfeit stuff like that. That's cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. Thanks, Dan.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Looking at the comments, Generation congratulates us on running the system. Finally, we made it run. I was wondering if it can be clustered to high-performance computing, and you'd have to imagine just as much as you cluster any kind of computer chip, like I can imagine you could have a bunch of like the vampire boards doing the 6806 would probably be the best way to do it. And certainly people that write these low latency kind of networking communication algorithms, and then the parallel computing stuff, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible. It might just have to come up with a glue logic, because I don't know like how many different threads or processes these 68,000 chips can handle. If it's like
One.
okay, so it's just properly single-threaded.
Very single-threaded. Yep.
Can't get any multi-threading on these whatsoever.
Yeah, I think they do. They're multitasking via like just time slice, standard time slicing. Kind of like fake.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, you'd think, but at that point, it's kind of, I don't know, and maybe I'm the evil one, because I'm always like, at that point, I would just do it on an emulator and then turn the emulator all the way up. I would think you'd be able to do that, right? I mean, you'd think that you'd be able to make take something like WinUAE running on a modern PC, and then take it where you basically amp up the clock speed of a 68060 to 2,000 megahertz or something.
Right.
It's 2 gigahertz, but something like that. You'd think that something like that, and maybe it's been done, but if you needed, otherwise the trying to do some kind of parallel processing things with the Amiga might be extremely tricky. But I don't know, smarter people than me can probably figure that out.
Right. I don't know. I mean, these days it's like AWS and things. You almost like the real money is kind of doing this on the modern stuff.
Oh yeah. Let's see, because I've got one of the software packages I got with one of the Amigas I got was Sculpt 3D Animate.
Yeah.
Which is like a 3D rendering software, and when I was a kid, I used to look at the renders that they would do in like Info and some of those stuff, and it's really cool. I've always wanted to do it. The software itself, I mean, I was just too young to understand how it all worked, and and I think all I would ever get is even if you wanted a pirated copy, and it's just like, well, you don't know how to use it or anything like that. So, but anyway, that's always something that I thought would be really cool to go back and try and do, since I could do 3D rendering now in like Maya, and
Yeah.
I wonder, it's obviously you're not going to be able to do quite the same thing, but I just wonder, if a lot of the same concepts are are there.
Yeah, I have to imagine that things would be somewhat different, because especially the screen resolution, you'd have certainly much less than you have to work with on the modern systems. Like Blender probably accounts for a large portion of stuff. And then
I've seen it where they have like the 3 windows, which is your standard, you know, your forward, backward, and different things. And so, but at the same time, I mean, I would think that it would have the same idea of like vertices and, you know, just some of the same kind of stuff. I don't know though. I don't know. I mean, texture mapping, I don't think so. I think texture mapping would have been something that I think Carmack came up with, or, you know, mainstreamed anyway.
So you're saying that all that stuff was really done with just colors on the vertices themselves, or on the faces, rather
Vertex
than
coloring,
yeah. The texture mapping, I would imagine. I mean, even in the late '90s on a PC, that stuff would take freaking ever to map out and render. So about the
well, this was also, I guess, true ray tracing as opposed to like fake lighting or whatever, you know, whatever they do on Doom and some of these other ones.
Right. Well, I guess it is getting to be 4 o'clock. We should probably wind it up here.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody on the stream for joining us. And so from Chris and Ned, this is
Thanks for helping me get
Texas
that
Nerd
stuff
House.
running again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was weird.
Surprised that I could help out to that extent. Sometimes it can be way more obtuse as to what's wrong. But yes, and from Dallas Makerspace, thanks to those of you who are leaving comments on here. At the last second, we got Generation Alejandro, Isaac Perez Hernandez. Good info. Appreciate it. Be sure to join us next time around for more good info, hopefully. Inspecting Gadgets says, love the pie top. I have the original version. You assemble the unit yourself. And then Amiga Rules and The Legend of Bill from Computer Reset.
Nice.
Very much.
And do they know we meet? It's every second Saturday of the month.
Yeah.
Just FYI, tune in.
Let me just make sure that the second Saturday of each month. I'm writing this on the chat just so folks can follow along. Second Saturday of each month. Watch my Twitter and Instagram for the exact feed URLs.
Watch me on Parler.
Yeah, I'm not on Parler, fortunately. That seems like, well, I don't know, the platform can't be that good from like an engineering standpoint. And secondly, I think they've got funding from really sketchy sources too, like they're funded by, they're funded by folks that you can trace back to like Russia and China or something, aren't they?
That's probably, let's listen to the left-wing media on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's worth doing research on just to double check, but you know.
Super cool. Yeah.
So do you know what Parler is funded by?
Are you asking me or are you asking the internet chat?
No, I'm asking you, Chris.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I know who the CEO is.
Gotcha, yeah.
And I know that they're a free speech platform. I mean, I'm not going to put my, I'm not going to put my social security information and everything all about it. And to be fair, it's recently come onto the radar. So.
Yeah, I think that there's got to be like stuff to shake out for sure.
I just know that I can't continue on with what we've currently got.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean,
it is hard because there's an ecosystem there, and
you're stuck in. Yeah, I know. Well, they've turned it into an echo chamber, though. And
that's right.
They're, not even letting alternate opinions on there. Granted, these opinions tend to go on as fact, or they'll claim they're fact, but
yeah, that's exactly right. And you know what? It's like I'm not saying shut
letting
else up, and it's just like, and you know what? People say, well, incitement to violence is illegal, and so it's like, sure, that's fine, but it's not incitement to violence; it's just differ of opinions.
Yeah,
so, that's why it's frustrating to me. And
yeah, I mean, I believe that people should be allowed the difference of opinion.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
But when you go and just storm the Capitol and steal stuff and break stuff, it's probably
that's obviously bad.
That's when you get to crossing the line.
And I don't think anyone's justifying that. I think just the only thing is the hypocrisy of talking about how that's so much worse than burning down the Minneapolis and all those people's businesses and all those cops getting killed and people getting killed and it's like that's the frustrating part. It's like, you know what, two wrongs don't make a right. Let's not compare what happened to some goofballs, you know, messing some papers around, sitting at people's desks. Let's not compare that to 9/11 or to Pearl Harbor was the one that.
Oh my!
It's just like that's just wrong. You know, just report them the same. They're both illegal. They both should be prosecuted, and you know.
Yep.
I need to get off on a rant. It's easy for me to do, but
yeah, we better stop here before we get too far down a rabbit hole. But thanks for joining us on the stream, everybody, and appreciate your time. And
I didn't realize everyone was listening, but hey, that's me.
Join us. Yeah, I know. Welcome to Texas, right? The land of the free speech, home of the brave. And so
that's right.
People will proudly present their opinions. Absolutely. And so, you know, we welcome that. I think that we should have discourses that are friendlier. And Twitter and Facebook just don't provide a friendly environment for those sorts of things.
I did have one with a gentleman from Sweden who's on the Amiga forums, and it was we had a very civil discourse.
Clonk.
He didn't always agree with me, but at the same time, you know,
Yep.
Good stuff.
Well, folks, be sure to join us again next month for the Amiga meeting, and then whatever else I might just publish on Texas Nerd House on my own as just a regular video. But thanks for joining again, and until next time, bye, y'all.